Well, good evening, everyone. This is Jason, KE0EJS, and wanted to give an update here on the Retevis Ailunce H1 and my GPS issues. Got a couple interesting observations. I've been comparing the radio to my Yaesu FT1XD, or sorry, yeah, is that the right number? Yeah, FT1XD. And in the window where I have my radio room here at the house, I can set it there and it'll lock GPS, no problem. Done that with other radios, other GPS devices with no issues. This H1 does not do that. I had to actually take it outside and actually sit it still for almost 5 minutes to get a actual signal. But the good news is we did lock in on a GPS signal. So, and it appears that now that I've brought it inside, after having locked the GPS, it is now working. So I'm going to jump over to that. And here we go is the screen. You can see in the upper corner, I don't have a pointing device. Let me grab something here. You can see the icon here yesterday was blinking between white and green, acquiring signal. It is now not. We'll scroll into the menu here and down to position, and look at that. Now you all also know where I live, but I am not too worried about that. You can look me up on the FCC's database. So seems to be working even at the house here. I believe, I'm guessing the bar over here might be the signal strength. Again, I'm kind of almost trying to stay away from the manual a little bit. See how intuitive it is. What I don't really like, obviously I can change the unit measurements, things like that. There's no listing how many satellites it's got that I have found. Obviously, this gives me position, time, speeds, altitude, etc., but not the number of satellites that it's seeing. So I don't know how accurate it is. You also know that you can see here, I'm moving slightly according to this. So it's not 100% lock. Obviously, I am inside, so I will give it that. But second good news is it was able to pick me up on APRS's website. You can see there the -9 icon is my digipeater location, and the -14 is the H1. I was out picking up the kid from soccer and picked it up beacon there as well as beaconed at my house. So I was able to test that, and APRS is obviously transmitting. I was able to receive APRS packets from my other handheld. I don't think I'm receiving packets from my digipeater though, so I've got to do some checking there and see what's up. If there's a squelch setting that's too tight on the that channel. Otherwise, it seems to be back up and running on the GPS. What I am going to do is turn the thing off, and I believe it will not lock back in on a GPS signal. I'm suspicious that it's not got a very sensitive antenna, but I do not know for sure. Obviously, like I said, comparing it to my other units, it's definitely not picking up the same places. So I'm going to shut the radio off and turn it on, and I will switch back to that screen while it boots. Also, you get to see kind of an idea what it boots. You can actually change those screens if you want. Obviously, you can see here we immediately go to the searching icon up top. And I did change the battery indicator. You can do percentage, voltage, or bar graph, which is kind of handy. I'm suspicious that I will not reacquire a satellite until I take this outside for and stationary for a few minutes. So I'll do some more testing on that, but I'm glad it does work. Obviously, I didn't expect it to work, standing inside of a building, but places that other radios and other devices pick up GPS signal, I had high hopes that it would work there. So obviously, you're out and about. If you were using this for emergency communications, search and rescue, something like that, obviously you would want that. I am going to, yeah, there it was. I believe that was my beacon from the digipeater, but obviously I did not pick up anything there. Just as a reference, I'm firing up my Yaesu, and I'm going to beacon. Okay, sorry, as soon as it gets a GPS. So we'll give that a minute while we're testing here. Get it out close enough to Windows so that it'll pick that up. In the meantime, I'm going to switch views here a little bit. And zoom out. What I did notice too, just as a point of reference, and this seems unintuitive to me, and again, this is kind of bundling two things here that probably the left, asterisk is switching between the A and B, but notice how it switched to the weather station.
Temperature of 64. Once again.
That's not what it's not even in any of the scan lists there. I do have the weather alert on, but I don't know why it would randomly switch like that. The right button here switches between displaying the full screen or just a single channel.
5 to 110 degrees possible at times. Where? Much of Iowa.
But it doesn't always turn that on. So, again, kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to see if I have GPS here yet. You might have heard there I picked up my beacon from the office. I'm sending. Oh, well, it helps if I'm actually have APRS up. You can hear that I got the beacon back. All right, and let me zoom in on that screen so you can actually see here. Send another packet. See, it doesn't always seem to decode. There we go. So there's the info on that. So again, obviously it's still searching. Again, I don't think unless I go outside, it will pick that back up. So again, I'm going to do some testing on that. See how that goes. I don't know that I expect it to be much better than that. I did expect it to pick it up in the same places as the other radios that I have, I guess is my biggest point. I was really shocked I had to take it outside and be stationary with it. I couldn't walk around with it. It would not do it. It had to be stationary. So maybe it's just mine. Other folks say that have gotten the radio that they have not had that experience. So we'll have to see. Some more testing is going to take place here in the next few days, but I'm just glad it worked because that was one of the things that I was most interested about testing. So we'll do some more testing and we'll get back to you on those. Otherwise, really don't have much else to add at the moment. That was what I was really working on testing today. Probably going to do some more programming, clean up those things, make some adjustments, preference changes, things like that. apparently I can program some of the side buttons. Let me switch some light here. Can program the side buttons a couple of different ways that I think might be more intuitive for me in general use, especially since there's not a lot of separation here and texture feeling wise, and that might make a difference. Probably switch them to long press instead of short press so I don't accidentally do something I'm not expecting. I don't know that I'm going to do any of the testing with the lone worker or man down stuff. I don't know that I can without second radio. To release receive that, I might be able to try it with the RT3S a little bit. But back to the first question I had was, do I recommend this radio? I'm getting better and more comfortable in the fact that at saying I think it'd be a nice radio. A little bit more testing. Again, I wouldn't mind having a second one if keeping this guy around, obviously. So I think a second one might be handy just from that standpoint. I've got a handful of DMR radios, don't get a lot of use, but this guy being dual band, VHF, UHF, APRS, analog, brings a lot of extra features. So we'll see how else thrust and testing goes. So, all right. With that, folks, definitely keep everybody posted as I do some more testing here, and appreciate you following me along on this journey. And as soon as we get this wrapped up, I will probably do some other things. So not sure what yet. I've had a few requests, different questions. Folks have had different things. Maybe we can do live streaming or something like that for those. But in the meantime, we'll keep you posted on this H1 testing. So, all right, everybody, we'll catch you maybe tomorrow or the next day and with some more info. This is KE0UJS 73, folks.